Radio Live.
Thank you, Ria. Nice to see you.
This is the first edition of The Real Lives of Kids and Wives. And when I first came, well, I didn't actually come up with the idea. Lars Mullen came up with the idea, actually. It was his concept. I approached quite a few women that were captains' wives, and there was a bit of a fear involved in it. But actually, this whole concept is about empowering women and men, because there are husbands that are captains' husbands. It's not just a male-orientated industry. I mean, yes, it is heavier male-orientated, but things are changing. But what a great way to sort of profile those women that are absolutely phenomenal, running things from home, doing what they need to do, and still succeeding in their personal lives and in their professional lives. And so my first guest is Candela. So thank you so much for taking the plunge.
No problem. I'm not afraid.
Well, you used to be a journalist. I mean, you studied journalism.
Yeah, I did. I went to university and studied journalism, but then my career changed completely when I started working on boats, and I loved it. So I dropped that off, and I love to go away at sea, and it's a lot of hours and it's hard work, but it's another beautiful job.
Yeah. Well, so you are from Argentina.
I'm from Argentina. Yeah.
And what got you? Like, you sailed as a kid.
We used to sail a lot with my dad since early days. So I grew up with boats. And then, I decided to do this career. But when I flew to Mallorca, I had an opportunity of a job, and I just decided to join. And that's when the change happened, basically.
So you went from what brought you from Argentina here in the first place?
Well, I finished my career. I was about 25, 24, and I was saving money to go to practices in a very well-known newspaper in Madrid. So I had to work to get that going. So I came over to Mallorca and got in a boat, finished the season, went to Madrid, freezed myself, stressed myself on a newspaper running around, finished that month, and I said, oh God, I'm going back to Mallorca.
Yeah.
So I just decided to come back because I loved it here.
And how did you meet your husband?
Well, after that season, it was winter, and I was looking for work. And I came into a coffee shop looking for internet. Those days you couldn't, have access to internet.
So like 5 years ago, really?
It was like 2000.
Yeah.
Year 2000. Wow. And I came in, I did my CV, I started working on it, and he saw me. So he offered me a job in his coffee shop. And that's how I met him. It took a few years after to get together because he was away all the time.
Yeah, as captains are.
And then when the place was sold, the yachties would come over and have a drink after work. And so I met a lot of them. And I was offered a job to go on a sailboat. So I just went with this job in a beautiful sailboat, and we went around Med for 8 months. And we always kept in touch with my husband. And finally we got together after when I came back.
And so how is, the one thing that I think a lot of people don't understand, I think the fallacy out there is that captains' wives live this absolutely amazing lifestyle and their husbands are gone to sea. And so they're having fun and doing whatever. But I mean, I do know quite a few captains' wives. And what is the adjustment like? Because realistically, what happens is that you come off the boats because either, more often than not, you have children.
Especially.
So
after you have kids, then life changes, of course.
Yeah.
You can't just go. You can go on a boat and leave. The first time you're just excitement with the kids, you're being a mother and you don't think much about it. But after, you got to cope with it.
Yeah.
But after the years, you get used to it. It's not something that is not normal. For some people, this must be crazy that your husband goes away so long and you're on but in between you can see each other, or you travel, or he travels for a few days. So it's, for us, it's just normal stuff. And there's loads of wives, especially on this island, in the same situation.
Well, you tend to band together and sort of help each other out, don't you?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
We get together, we go with the kids here and there, we help with school runs or activities, because, of course, when they go, you are in charge of everything.
Well, you're a single mom, basically.
You become a bit of a single mom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what are the downs? I mean, we've heard some of the downsides. What are the upsides of them being away? Because you know what? I mean, to be absolutely honest, I would consider that kind of cool to, it's like you have your husband sometimes and then the husband goes away and you have your breathing space. And are there some upsides to that?
Yeah, there are some, but it depends on your mood or the month,
Yeah.
But yeah, well, you don't have to cook dinner. Like, I know I can fix something for the kids, and it's easier in that way.
Yeah.
See, or you don't got to pick up anything from the floor. No, I mean, yeah, or you feel lonely sometimes. That's the downs. But
I guess, does it actually, and I wouldn't know, but does it maybe prolong some of that honeymoon period?
Well, you do look forward to see him.
Yeah, because there's that excitement. I
miss
imagine.
each other a lot.
Yeah.
So when you see each other, it's like, fresh, and there's no,
it's shiny. You're not worried about the toothpaste and the toilet paper roll and that kind of thing because
absolutely.
Yeah.
It's nice. Yeah, it's lovely. It's refreshing.
So there is ups and downs. I mean, for sure.
But no, it's not all fun when they're away. Not at all.
Well, because life goes on. I mean, you don't have, 5 nannies and 4 housekeepers and whatever. I mean, you're doing this all yourself, including being a mom. And the one thing that I noticed, a lot of the captain's wives that I know that are on land now, they also are very successful in their careers.
Yeah, well, of course, you can just drop off everything and not do anything. Well, you do that. You do a lot with the kids, with the house, with school runs, activities. You full on with that. But as a woman, you have to develop your own career as well, or, make it happen.
Well, because that's fulfilling, isn't it? I mean, there's something that you can't just give up your life for your children, your husband, you still have to fulfill yourself. And sometimes that is excelling at your profession.
Yeah, and you can just get a job from 8 to 4 depends on your schedule. Basically.
Exactly. Yeah.
Especially if you live in the countryside, you're not in town, and then I'm a professional chauffeur.
Yeah. Without the uniform. Without the uniform.
Yeah. But I decided to. Well, my brother is a head shaper of surfboards and paddleboards in Argentina, and I wanted to paddle because I love the idea, and I wanted to bring some of his boards just for me to, do the sport. And so this idea started there, and we decided to ship more boards and I thought there was a space in the market here, especially for on the boats.
Yeah.
And I think the yachts needed a nicer boards. So these are special boards, are not the typical inflatable ones.
They're like artwork, really.
They're artwork.
Yeah.
So they're handcrafted.
Yeah.
And they're made very nicely with high technology, and they're beautiful as well. You can hang them in your house if you want. But I started paddling, and I just loved it. I felt paddle power,
Yeah.
So that's my.
Do you know, I actually haven't ever, because I'm
so easy, you wouldn't believe.
Yeah, but I trip over my own 2 feet, and I think there's something to do with like having to maintain your balance, and I'm really bad at that. And so I can't imagine standing on a board and like trying to to paddle on top of balancing would be like major feat for me.
Well, yeah, if you worked on boats, your balance is a bit better because you're used to move the movement and you can hold yourself. But these are very wide boards.
Yeah.
So if you put your feet in the right place, it's fine. Just get used to it and off you go. Especially in Mallorca, there's not massive waves or anything like that.
No, there's no massive surfing like you see in Hawaii or Oahu or anything.
Yeah. And it's great. It's powerful, and I love it. I'm very happy, and I'm doing well. I got a few shops in Palma where they're selling them, and everybody loves them. And they're not cheap, but
you launched.
It's like driving a Seat and a Land Rover or a Mercedes-Benz.
Yeah.
you go and the performance is much better than the standard normal boards.
Did you kind of launch yourself at the Palmiat show this year, didn't you?
Yes,
Yeah.
I wasn't sure about it. I thought I wasn't getting a space. And they said to me, no, there's a waiting list of so many people. Forget it. And I kept trying. And this lovely woman in charge said, okay, I got a little space for you. So it was like, run, let's do it.
Yeah.
And we created sort of a tropical garden.
Nice.
With all the boards.
Well, I think we've got some pictures actually when we were advertising this interview. I put some pictures up. So if you're interested in taking a look at what they did at the Palmiat show, it's there.
Yeah. And then I decided to call a head shaper and said, hey, you got to come over. This is a boat show, Palma boat show. So he did. He came over and we had a fantastic show. Really, we did really well. Loads of interest, loads of sales. And I was like, yes, this is great. People love them.
So do you feel like that was kind of a launching board, as it were, for you anyway?
Yeah, that's the main place where you want to be seen.
Yeah.
And known. Because as I was saying, I got the kids, I got the house. So it's not like full on 8 hours job.
Yeah.
So I'll do stuff every day but it's a different way, the boards are doing really well. I'm happy. I'm very happy with them.
I'm glad. Yeah, no, we'll provide a link to the website. We've already put the logo up there, so I'm sure that if you know how to work Google, you can actually just Google that in yourselves, but I will definitely provide the link.
And I'm happy because of the response of people. People who buy them are normally yachties or crew. Yeah. And the feedback is really good. Yeah. So that's more exciting.
Well, yeah, because crew are the ones that really, when you're talking about anything within the industry, it's not necessary. It's not the owners. The owners actually say, oh, we kind of like to have a paddleboard, or we kind of like to have a new tender, or we kind of like to have a new toy. But it's actually the crew that make those recommendations and make the decision on where they're going to buy it. The vendor, those decisions ultimately, generally speaking, not all the time, but generally speaking, come from
unless they know exactly what they want.
Yeah.
If they don't know that exists, when the crew will recommend. Yeah, they will follow and tell you this is available, and then they choose what it is. Yeah, this is not a board it's not a Chinese industry thing.
Yeah, where are they manufactured?
They're manufactured in Argentina.
Okay, so everything is done in Argentina, and it's not slave labor, and and it's wood. They're wood.
They're made of foam.
Okay.
They're laminated in wood.
Okay.
And fiberglass.
Okay.
They're very light. They're only 7 kilos, 8 kilos. So you can carry them. I carry them all the time.
Yeah.
I kept 2 boards to myself.
Yeah.
So I invite anybody that would like to try them. They're welcome to send me a message, and we go and do some paddling.
She's just looking for a paddle partner.
No, I keep encouraging my friends.
Yeah.
Because they're, it's a bit, hey, give it a try.
Yeah.
It's so easy, and you feel like free in a way. It's funny. It's brilliant.
Maybe I'll go out and give it a try. And
she
can do a bit of Facebook Live for me while I put the video. And we can all watch me constantly falling off the board into the water.
You won't fall, promise. You won't get wet,
Well, what's the point of being on the sea if you're not going to get wet?
I'm always cold. Well, not summer, but I don't like to be much in the water because I get cold. So this is a perfect sport for me. I don't get wet.
That's all right. I got enough body fat going on here. I'm not going to get cold. So you were also translator for some time as well, weren't you?
I was translating for a bit, because I speak both languages.
Yeah.
So I did, and my mom is an interpreter, so she gave me a hand with that. And I was doing it for a bit, but then you do it through agencies, and money's not really good.
It's not, is it? I'm surprised because you were doing Spanish to English, correct? And you would think that there's quite a huge demand for that straight across Spain. As far as just anything, really.
Well, you have to be an official translator then, and then you get paid properly.
Okay.
Because you pay by, when you sign, you pay like a notary sort of thing, and you get paid by the signature.
Right. Okay.
Like birth certificates and all that. So I'm not an official certificate translator. That's the difference.
Yeah. I can imagine.
And it's a lot of hours, sitting down and, on the computer. So it's It's not very active. Yeah.
So what is next for you? Like, how old are your kids now?
I got two girls. One is 14 and the other one is 11.
Oh, that's fun. How's 14 for you?
Oh, well, it's tough, to be honest, quite tough. Yeah, you gotta, remember yourself, how you felt in those years of your life. Because, okay, how did what was that? Yeah, they're all over the place.
Yeah. And do you find it difficult sometimes without that sort of strong male role model around to like put them in line? Or do you have
I am the stronger one.
Okay.
No, David is the one that says everything yes. So I keep them.
Yeah.
Yeah, otherwise it's just, woo. But no, but sometimes I do, please help. I call him and you got to help me with this issue that's happening right now,
Yeah. I can imagine there's certain stages in life with your children where you probably would appreciate being a 2-unit, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, because we were talking before we went on camera. And this season, for example, 6 months. Other seasons, of course, maybe 2 months or 3 months because they're in Palma and he comes home every night. But at certain stages, to have your husband gone for 6 months and you only see him a couple of times, I mean, I can imagine, how does that affect the girls as well? Well,
the girls are used to it.
Yeah.
It's been that way since they were born. So It's not something that I never been questioned by them. They could ask, oh, when's Papa coming back? Or when are we going to see him? And then you tell them and they're fine with it.
Yeah.
But we, of course, nowadays you can, put on your video call and you see each other and you talk.
It's not like do that every day.
It's not disconnection. Yeah. It's not a completely 6 months disconnection.
Right.
It's not that way. So that makes it easier. Technology makes things easier now.
It does, doesn't it? I mean, I remember as a little girl growing up, and I won't tell you when that was. But
some years ago.
Just a few years ago. Sorry, excuse me. But I used to tell my mom, wouldn't that be cool if we had TV telephone? And essentially, that's exactly what it is now, is TV telephone.
Brilliant. It shortens the distance between people.
Yeah. Well, and I've got my family in Canada. So the ability to sort of just, as if you're right there. And I mean, every message is instantaneous. And as it happens, you can sort of be part of it. Do you find, but I mean, that doesn't actually work as much in the yachting industry, because if they're sailing, they're not that accessible.
Oh, yes, they are.
Are they?
Yeah, every boat has Wi-Fi or.
Well, yeah, but I mean, isn't there a limit?
And they're not at sea. Well, unless they're crossing the ocean, right?
Yeah,
it's different. But when they're cruising around the Med or where he is now, they're permanently with access to Wi-Fi.
Okay, so there's no limitation.
No.
Okay.
Unless they do a passage some hours, but. No, yeah, it's the connection's still there. Yeah.
So basically what you're telling us is the fallacy that people have of the captain's wives having so much fun while their husbands are away. That's not true.
That's just, I don't know where that comes from.
I don't know.
Who said that?
I mean, people sort of think, I think, just maybe not necessarily people in the industry, or some people in the industry. I mean, it's funny because you hear a lot and you see, young Stu's coming on board at 21 or 22. I'd like to bag myself a captain, but
really,
but it's not all fun and games.
No, of course not. It's a different style of life. Well, when he's away, I might have more free time that I normally spend with him. But in many ways as well, you feel like we would like to go with him to places and you can't. Mm-hmm. But it's not a drama thing, or it's not fun. Oh, I'm going crazy for the summer.
Yeah.
Especially with kids.
Yeah.
That doesn't. No. Well, I don't know anybody that's just living the crazy life when husband's away.
No.
Maybe there is some. I don't know.
Well, and usually those marriages. But the thing is, people don't understand that. I mean, a marriage is a marriage, whether or not you're at sea, or whether, I mean, if you're going to be the type that, parties when your husband's not there, or you're a husband that parties when your wife's not there, that ain't going to work, regardless of what industry you're in. I mean, realistically.
No, of course. And you got to trust each other.
Yeah, for sure.
If there's no trust, then you could go crazy.
I can imagine, because they go to so many different ports, and I remember
this is myth about marinero
yeah.
off in every port.
Yeah.
Well, not that I know. Hopefully, yeah. No, you got to trust each other. Otherwise, it doesn't work.
Well, for sure, and I think there comes a certain point, because you don't get to be a captain overnight. That is years and years of study. It's a lot of investment. It's a lot of work.
Experience. Yeah.
Yeah. So when most of the captains that I know anyways, they started off 16, 17, 18, sailing and doing whatever. And so they had their fun time, like any of us would, as youngsters, we date, we do our thing, and we have some fun, and we go party and whatever else. But I think as you get older, that, when you do decide to get married, as
of course,
as
it's a commitment that you make. And
you've already had that playtime. So captains aren't captains at 24.
No.
Generally speaking, they're a bit more mature when they become a captain, because they've had to go through many
other positions and other
and that doesn't happen overnight. So they've had their playtime.
Yeah.
So when you're talking,
so did I. Yeah, of course.
Yeah. Yeah. So everything is good for you now, and what does the future look like for you? What do you think once the kids grow up and leave the nest?
It's not happening just yet, is it?
No, I know, but I mean, you've got a 14-year-old, so you've got 4 years up to your university.
Is it? Oh God, I haven't thought that was going to be that soon.
Sorry.
We'll see. I don't know.
Yeah.
Things change so much that I love being at sea. So you never know what maybe we'll go back on boats. We'll see.
Would you enjoy that?
Love to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you think is the ability? I mean, is it a young person's industry? Is it something that you think you could go back to?
Okay, yeah. Well, it depends on the owner, on the boat, on the captain, what you're doing. But yeah, of course, for a woman, there's a time that you can't go on board anymore.
Yeah.
For men, it's different, because they're captains and they can work until they're older.
Right.
So we'll see how old I am when I leave.
What position did you hold on the yachts when you were working yachts before?
I was a stewardess.
Okay.
And a deckhand and a little bit of a cook. I was doing all of it together.
Which
because I was on a sailboat.
So it's smaller then, obviously.
A smaller boat.
Yeah. Because you have to have multiple jobs on a smaller sail.
But then I was doing stewardess when it was a bigger boat.
Right. What do you prefer, motorboats or sailboats?
You know what? Depends on the crew and the owner.
Yeah.
Always. You can have a beautiful sailboat and be in a nightmare. And you can be in a beautiful motorboat and be super happy. It depends on who you're working with. The captain, the crew, the owner. Basically, for me, my experience tells me that. Of course, I love sailing, but I do enjoy motorboats as well.
Yeah.
So it depends on the relationship you have with them. And
well, I guess if you were to buy your own boat, would it be a sailboat or a motorboat?
Well, I have my own boat. We've got a sailboat, a Bowman 46 in Mexico.
Oh dear. That's not doing you much good, is it?
No, because we were living there for a while, and we were doing charters, daily charters.
Yeah.
On the bay. And after I had the kid, it was stopped. But we got there. It's a beautiful boat, and we don't have the time to use it, basically. And we haven't been able to give her much of attention, so it's for sale.
Could you not bring it over here?
Yeah, we could, but or you ship it, and you've got the time to sail it here.
Yeah. How long would that take?
It's not like a week. Well, it's in the Pacific.
Right.
So it'll take a long time, 2 months at least, between you go through the Panama Canal and then cross.
Yeah.
And so it's time and money.
Yeah.
And shipping, it's loads of money.
Which would be more expensive, a delivery crew or shipping?
It will be cheaper to sell it and buy one here. I'm trying to convince him,
Yeah.
He'll go on, no, but and this boat's so special. Yeah, it is. But reality tells me that I haven't been able to use it for so long.
Yeah, true.
But let's just don't go on that issue, because if he hears me, it will be it.
Okay, well, we're going to
I'm
post
not
this on
selling
all
it.
social media later. So, yes, the husband that shall not be named, I'm sure I'll post this on his Facebook
Let's
page
call
for
him the husband. Even everybody knows who he is.
Yeah, well, not everybody, because
no.
yeah, we are listened to in 37 countries, so
At 10%,
not everybody will know.
maybe, yeah.
So you would like to have a sailboat here then?
I'd love to.
Yeah.
Well, actually, my kid had fear to fly. I mean, she's been flying all her life. We've been in Mexico, Brazil, Argentina, Spain, Ireland, England. She's got miles and miles on a plane.
Yeah.
And suddenly she went, nope, this is it. Can't fly. She had a panic attack. I had to get off the plane. And we've been living in this for a year and a half. So traveling is very hard. Or take the ferry and drive, or just don't go anywhere. Or leave the kid here and then we go. So she did a little bit of a therapy, tapping therapy. And then I said, okay, I've got to empower her.
Yeah.
Because she's feeling that she doesn't have the power. And I put her on a sailing course for a month. And she's doing laser. And she finished the month, and now she's flying. So this girl, 14-year-old with all this panic attacks and anxiety, went off sailing for a month. She was capsizing 14 times a day and having fun, where before she wouldn't go on the boat, or on a train, or on a plane. So this is brownie points for yachting and sailing. This empowered her. Made her feel that, fear it's not there anymore.
That's brilliant.
So the test will be next Wednesday when you take the first flight after nearly 2 years.
Oh, dear.
I'm super excited. I don't want to say it too much out loud because I'm like,
knock on wood. Knock on wood.
Oh, yes. This is like freedom.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Yeah.
So is this sailboat that you have in Mexico, is that big enough for you guys to take a 2-month excursion on as a family and stay on board?
It's a 46 Bowman. It's very comfortable. It's got 2 cabins and bathroom. It's a lovely boat. Beautiful boat.
Okay.
Yeah,
so
it would
eventually.
We would love to go.
But is that big enough to have one teenager? With an attitude? I don't know about that. I'm not sure.
I don't know. Hey, the laser did that. Maybe the boat will help her a lot. Yeah, because you're always busy on a boat anyway.
Yeah.
And it calms people down a bit. It's just movement, and the sails makes you feel like and free and powerful.
And I guess it also probably makes you feel a little bit insignificant.
Being on a boat?
To a certain degree, in the middle of the water, when you are the only thing and you don't see anything for miles. I mean, not cruising in the Med, of course, but if you're on the ocean in a sailboat and you don't see anything for miles. I mean, I've never done it, but I can imagine the feeling of being this little tiny dot, speck of sand in big beach of life, essentially.
Yeah, crossing the ocean is an experience that I would recommend to everybody. It's life-changing. Makes you realize the immensity of the ocean, the beauty, and you feel not insignificant. You feel free,
right?
I remember the feeling of you sometimes you gotta save water or do this or that to keep all right. And but I remember the feeling we're about to arrive to St. Martin. We could see the islands there. And I was like, I had the feeling that I could go on. We don't need to stop there. Just go a bit more. I could survive just,
Well, I guess there's no provisioning
just a
in the middle of the
feeling,
ocean,
then of course you might not.
Yeah. Well, I get seasick, so.
Oh, that's a shame.
Oh, it's awful. I'm good though. I'm good when it comes to rowboats and fishing boats. I'm all right. I'm good with that. Kayaks, canoes, that kind of thing.
So it's the sails,
but
sailing, the motion of the sailing.
Well, no, even a motor yacht. I remember last year I was doing interviews at the Palm Yacht Show, and it was of course anchored up and tied to the marina and the dock and everything. And I went into the galley to do an interview, and within 20 minutes, I was sicker than a dog.
Were you? Well, I think that could be psychological. You should do the laser sailing course.
Yeah, there we go.
That'll fix you.
Well, I'm thinking,
You
they
can
say,
get DC on the dock,
oh my
Let's just
goodness.
say, I'm on a boat. That
Do you know what?
in your
It
head.
probably is psychosomatic.
Yeah.
Really. Because when I was a kid, we went to Hawaii, and I remember this massive fishing boat, and we went out into the ocean, and the captain, because I was so sick, he suggested that they put me in. Those fishing boats, they have the seat at the very, very top. You have to climb all the way up to the top.
Fire bridge, yeah.
I think it was like 8 or something. And so he stuck me up there on the journey back into the marina. And I was so scared, and I was so sick. An 8-year-old, I think that guy now.
Maybe that's
keep me in jail.
it's his fault. It's his fault, definitely.
Damn it, it's his fault.
Definitely,
I know
it's his fault. For
So
sure.
I've been
Let's go
dealing
and get
with this
him.
trauma forever. I'll find
But
you,
that's
Mr.
fixable.
Hawaiian
Don't worry,
fisherman.
that's fixable. Really.
No, I think it's something that I have to try. I mean, I started after
Because
that.
fear will just paralyze you
Yeah.
completely. On
Well, I
whatever you're
literally
doing.
get sick to my stomach. Like it's, yeah. And then once I get my feet on solid ground, it takes me maybe an hour to sort of,
Calm down.
not feel sick anymore. I mean, I'm not afraid. I love water. I mean, I have my lifeguard certificate, so I'm not afraid of water.
Yeah.
I've done windsurfing. I mean,
really?
I
that's
love
strange.
water. So it's just, it's the motion in the ocean.
Yeah. No, a lot of people do. I know.
Yeah.
I know the motion will make them sick instantly.
But I think if perhaps there's things like hypnosis, and there's different things that you can do to take. And
Well, I took my kid to tapping. We have a very nice girl called Christine. She's lovely. And yeah, she made her go back to that little girl that had fear and talk to her and let her, realize that she was okay.
Okay.
And that helped a lot.
Yeah.
That helped. But I think what it was the tipping point was the sailing course this summer. I can't believe it. I'm amazed. I'm so happy.
Look, don't be talking about that too much, because
No, we'll see. We'll see what happens on Wednesday. I'll let you know.
If she doesn't get on that flight, you'll be sending her home in a taxi by herself. Sorry, babe. I'm still going.
Oh, yeah. Taxi home. I'm going.
Yeah, no kidding. So, yeah, well, you know what? I look forward to possibly talking to you in the future and seeing how things are going with the board. What is the name of the boards anyways?
The boards are called Extortion surfboards.
Right. Extortion surfboards.
Yeah, and my Facebook page is Candela Shop.
Excellent. Well, very simple. So what I'll do is I'll
Candela
provide
Shop.
links
Yeah.
for that. up there
I'll
as
give you
well.
the link.
Yeah.
Then they can see what we're talking about.
Yes, well, because that is important. I mean, we do have some pictures posted, but I thank you.
And I'll definitely officially invite you to come paddling with me when I get back.
Okay, well, I will do it.
We should. It's fun. It's loads of fun.
We'll do a video, and you can all laugh at me later, because that's my mission in life, is to make everybody laugh and enjoy, and it'll be fairly entertaining, I'm sure. It will be. It won't even be fairly.
It'll be
will
fun.
be
It'll be
completely entertaining. Yeah. All right, we'll have to do that. When are you back?
I'll be back by 20th of August.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
I'm going to go and see my husband for a few days.
Which is what
Check
real
in,
captain's
say,
wives do.
Yeah, have some fun with him.
But he flew in for your birthday as well.
He came over,
so,
he came over for my birthday for 4 days or something.
Nice.
But yeah, you just play it on your ear. It's not something scheduled. When you can, you can. When you can't, you can't. You got to be flexible.
Yeah.
To
So-
the timing.
In a wrap up, I guess, basically, being a captain's wife is a lot like being a single parent at some times.
Yeah.
There's ups for sure. There's downs for sure.
Of course.
But it's like any relationship, any marriage. It doesn't matter what industry you're in. I mean, before we were on camera, I was talking to Candela about the fact that I grew up in northern British Columbia, Canada. And my father used to go away to logging camps, and he was gone 3-4 months. So it's not just exclusive to yachting. And I think, many industries the world over have that same sort of, and the money is great. I mean, with logging, for example, the money was phenomenal. And of course, you were kept in camp. You didn't spend any of it. I mean, all food was provided. The same with captains. I mean, you're not kept in camp, but you're on a beautiful, luxurious yacht, but you're working. And so the money's good. But there's always a balance. You know, you lose some things in order to make a good amount of money. And you know, on the other hand.
But not only that, he still does what he likes.
Yeah.
You know, and that's important for your happiness.
Yeah.
I wouldn't expect him or ask him to ever leave the job he loves to do.
Right.
Because otherwise you're just submitting somebody into something that they don't. You can't do that.
Well, and
I'm
as you
happy for
said,
him that he can still go and do what he loves to do.
well, as
For
you
me,
said, they
it's
never
great.
leave the industry one way or the other. Even though you come off the boat, you are still,
Always.
you know, touching the water at some stage. And once the kids are gone, you would love to go back to sea. So I think that's
Well, we'll see. Yeah, I'm not sure about that. But
well, yeah. But I mean, the first thing. I mean, that was your
But
first reaction.
I believe that I will always will be related to boats and
Yeah.
yachting, and yeah, I think that's that's going to be there. That's what we love to do.
Yeah.
So why would you cut off something that
you love
love?
to do.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
So I guess that's leading into getting the boat here, because at the end of the day, when he does decide to retire at some stage, it would be nice to have the boat here so that you can continue to do the journeys, but do them together.
Let's see. Yeah, maybe. Why not? I'd love to retire that way. If we save the money, kids, we've got to still pay university and all this for the kids
Yeah.
or their careers. So we'll see how much money we've got
But
left.
that would be so cool once once that's done. I mean, many people they've sold everything and just gone sailing.
Yeah, David Stream is just going for some months. Sorry, I said his name.
No, that's okay. It's not. I don't mind if you say his
But
name.
no, yeah, that would be lovely, or at least some months a year. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you can see if you go to the Caribbean or around the world, you'll see a lot of families living on boats, and it's beautiful. It's just the kids grow up in such a nice environment, and it's life-changing.
I actually, I'm sort of course, watching all sorts of different social media sites, and the amount, I didn't realize, but the amount of families living on board and planning, trips across the world with their children, babies, and all the way up to the ages of 14, 16, 18. They're looking for advice on what school system to educate them with, or what the best ports are, where the best places are to have things for the children to do. And I guess I never really thought about that kind of like
that world there. Yeah, it does exist. Yeah, you see a lot of families around. Well, there's people here that quit yachting and they just went on their own boats as well, that I know.
Yeah, me too, actually. Yeah.
And they do other stuff related.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's many options there. It's just not only one for yachting.
Well, I mean, obviously, this from the sounds of it, once the ocean is in your blood, that's kind of a love that just carries on forever, and never goes away.
Yeah, absolutely.
So you will find a way to get back out on the water one way or another.
Yeah. I'm not desperate, crazy
No,
running.
but yeah.
No, we still have things to do.
Yeah.
So yeah, maybe it's an option for sure.
Well, I mean, you live on an island.
We still have the boats. Yeah.
You're as close to the water as you possibly can get when you live on an island, to be honest. Yeah,
absolutely.
Well, we're going to follow your journey. We're going to post all sorts of information about your paddle boards up online. And we wish you the best of luck with the future and your children. And your teenagers.
And the teenagers.
Yeah. And stay tuned here, because we are going to have a video of me paddleboarding.
Yeah, well, that's
in about a month and a half time or so. And like we said, we're all going to have a good laugh, me included.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. Well, thank you again, Candela.
Oh,
this has been
pleasure.
The Real Wives, or the Real Wives, the Real Lives of Captain's Wives. We're real. They're real. Right here on Yachting International. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you again.
Bye.
Bye.